Hello, so I think we are live. Trying to get everything set up here. Was trying to get it fixed where I can see it on my computers. It's easier to answer comments there, but for some reason it's not showing it. Let's see if I refresh.
Welcome to Bells, Florida.
Well,
The energy of the Sunshine State comes to life.
It's gonna make me watch a commercial. Okay, so it looks like we have two folks here. It says three, but I'm pretty sure one of those is me. And we are doing the vertical, which is what they recommend for some reason. I'll get it set up here. I don't really have a specific topic to talk about today, so we'll wait till a few more people hopefully jump on here and see if anybody has any questions or any topics they want to discuss. Last time we talked about baking bread tips. Hope everyone is having a good Friday. It's a beautiful day. Just a little bit chilly. And I just realized I don't have my mic. Can you guys hear me okay through the phone mic, or do I need to go get my other microphone? If someone could let me know if you can hear me. I'll put a comment out here. You can hear it? Okay, good. Good. I usually hook up my lapel mic or whatever that little thing's called, but I forgot. Okay, good. I'm pretty close to the phone, so hopefully the sound will be just fine. I was just sitting here while I was waiting on the live to start, looking at some of my old cookbooks. Hopefully you can see this. Can you see that? So this cookbook is from 1938. And I just love these old cookbooks because they have so much information in them. It's just like walking back in time. And I just love to look through them and read all the things that they have in here. Not just the recipes, but the tips and things they have in here. Like, they just explain what things mean so well. And like, they explain what it means to fry and simmer and saute. There's a section on measuring, and they explain about measuring liquids versus dry foods. And there is a section also in here about, well, I mean, they cover everything, but there's also a section on how to buy food. And it's just, I think the newer cookbooks, they just don't have all of this in them. They just have the recipes, and then if they have anything else, it'll be like, you know, about the author or things like that, but not these useful facts that they have in here. And I was reading one that was talking about whipping cream, and of course in 1938, most people had used raw milk. Well, they probably all used raw milk. And it was talking about that fresh milk did not whip as well as aged cream. They were talking about cream. because of the lactic acid that was formed. As it aged 12 to 24 hours, then the lactic acid would be formed in the cream, and that would help the milk to whip. And I thought, you know, that's really good to know. So if you bought pasteurized cream nowadays, you might want to add a little cream of tartar or vinegar or lemon juice or something to give it that acidic addition to it, so it would make better whipped cream. But anyway, does anybody else love old cookbooks? I love old cookbooks. I have two like this. I'll have the American Woman's Cookbook. Let's see, what's this other one called? Woman's Home Companion Cookbook. And it is published in, it's a little bit older. The last published date in this one was 1946. So about 10 years difference between the two. But this green one here from 1938 is my favorite. Okay, so Paulette wants to know, what is the best way to make no yeast banana bread in the bread machine? And Paulette, I just made some the other day, and I am going to make a video on that. So you would want to, if you have, do you already have a recipe you want to use, or do you need a recipe too? So if you have a recipe for banana bread that uses baking powder and not yeast, then you can use that recipe, and you would use your cake function. There's actually two ways to do it. You could use the cake function on the bread machine. I've used the cake function. I don't really love it. It's okay, but the thing is that I don't love about it, for one, it stirs a very long time. I think it's 20, I have my chart here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. That's the wrong book. But it stirs for so long. So I see the cake function, which is function number 10 on the KBS, but it stirs for 23 minutes, and then it'll bake. And what I made a banana nut bread in mine, and I used the cake function, and it baked for, let's see, how long did it bake? Let me check just to make sure. It baked for 1 hour and 10 minutes, but it was still not done. I had to go to the, once it finished, I checked it and it was not done. So I just went to the bake function and I added 10 minutes. It was still not done. I added 15 minutes and it was finally done. So that was 1 hour and 35 minutes that it took to bake. Of course, I had a pretty, I guess it was I maybe should have halved the recipe. It was a pretty big amount of banana nut bread, but it took very long time. And the bread turned out okay, but what I didn't like was that it mixed for 23 minutes. And so when you're using, and I explained this in my video on the quick bread setting, but when you're using baking powder or baking soda and, you know, those type of things to make your cake rise, time is essential. So once those liquids combine with those dry ingredients, you only have so much time that chemical reaction is going to take place. So I feel like 23 minutes is just too long to wait before you start baking it. If I was doing it manually, I would stir everything up, and I mean, you're looking at maybe 5 minutes max before you've got everything. You know, you would stir your liquids together, then mix them with your dry, and, you know, within 5 minutes or less, you've got it in a hot preheated oven. And I just feel like 23 minutes of mixing after those wet and dry ingredients have already come together, you're just losing your chemical reaction that causes the rise. So what I would rather do, and is what probably I would do going forward, is mix everything together by hand, pour it in the bread machine and put it on the bake function. That way you don't have that 23 minutes elapsing before the bake begins. But if you really want the convenience of the bread machine making it, you can use it. It did turn out. However, I did have to keep increasing the bake time. I had to go back and increase the bake time. And I wanted to, actually wanted to read something to you here. This is in the user manual from the KBS machine. And it's talking about the cake function. And it actually says that the cake that is made on the cake function, it says, the cake made entirely by a machine is relatively dry and solid. Well, that's why, what I just explained, that's the reason. And it says the reason is the mixing knife of this machine does not make the stirring action of the bubbling, I guess, that you would do by hand. It's not written very well. It says bubbling bubble, but the material is fully integrated. So I'm not sure what they were trying to say, but I think they were trying to say what I just explained. Does that make sense, Paulette? And it said if you wanted to make a soft cake, which is also what I was talking about, said you will need more procedures in the program and use the bake menu. So that's what I was saying. You would just mix it by hand and use the bake menu on the bread machine. But I do have a really good recipe for banana bread. And so, I mean, everybody makes banana bread, and it is a delicious thing. And it's a good way to use your bananas. I don't know, is anybody like me? Bananas are a running joke kind of at my house. Everybody loves bananas. My husband likes them green. And then the rest of us like them ripe, but not black. You know, I like just a few brown spots, not too many. So when I peel the banana, I don't want it to be black on the inside, but it's okay if there's brown spots on the outside. But of course, the bananas, they all go ripe at the same time. So we always have a freezer full of bananas that got too ripe and nobody wanted to eat them, but they are perfect for banana bread. So that's a good way to use your bananas. They also go really good in smoothies. Hello, Della. Nice to see you here. And I know Square Fingers is here. Be sure and check out Square Fingers' YouTube channel. He's got a mixture of things on there. He likes to travel and show you different places. And it's really neat. So be sure and check out his channel. If you have a channel, let me know, and we'll put a plug in. There is a way to drop links. I don't know how to do that yet. Sorry. But I could drop channel links hopefully one day. But I'm just not sure how to do that yet. But if you do have a channel, let me know and we'll call it out. And let's see, I'm not sure who else. For some reason, the chats are just, okay, here they are. Okay, I'm trying to see who has commented. That's the only folks who have commented. I know there's more of you out there. I would love to say hello if I knew who you were. So go ahead and drop me a comment. And be sure and hit that thumbs up button on your way in or your way out when we end, whatever. But let me know. So Paulette, does that help with the banana bread? So says I had used the cake cycle like you and then put it on bake for about 15 minutes. No, I'm trying to figure out. I bake stuff all the time, trying to figure out the easiest way and better way to use the machine. It just seems like to me, I would think if you're going to use the bread machine, the more you can do in the bread machine, the easier, right? It's supposed to make life easier. So you can use the cake function. It's just, I'm thinking about the next time I make banana bread, here's what I'm going to try. And I'll let you guys know if it worked or not. I am going to put all of my ingredients in, except my baking powder. I'm going to hold out the baking powder until the last 5 minutes or so of the mixing. Then I'm going to add in the baking powder. Or perhaps, excuse me, perhaps we could add the baking powder with our nuts. At the time when it sounds off to add the nuts, we could put the baking powder in the fruit and nut dispenser. That way, it's not, you know, we get a better chemical reaction from it. That's just what I'm going to try. Let me know if you try that and it works for you, because, excuse me, I think that is the main issue with the cake function. I've made, I have made cornbread on the cake function as well. Same issue. It's just too much mixing before the baking begins. And there's no way to, at least I haven't found a way to decrease the stir time. So there's that. But I'd love to use the bread machine for all different kinds of things. I haven't made meatloaf in it yet. That's one of my goals, is to make meatloaf in it. And I also want to do pizza dough, because that is something everybody wants to know how to do. And all the recipes out there online are for 2 pizzas. And I know that big families are a big thing on YouTube, you know. I've just noticed, and I don't know if it's because of the kinds of channels I watch. Maybe they're out there and I'm just not seeing them. But there are so many channels out there about big families, you know. Families that have lots of children and just these big families. And I enjoy watching them. However, not everybody has 6 kids. And like, we're a family of 3. So we're a small family. So, you know, I like to have recipes that are smaller too, because I don't know about you, but my family doesn't love eating leftovers all the time. Okay, Della says, would you know how best to, excuse me, I have to strain to see my phone, so sorry, that's why I'm reading like this. Would you know best how to use the low-carb flours? I have into pound cakes and breads. I use almond flour, spelt flour, einkorn, AP, and have oat fiber and wheat gluten. You know, I have bought the flours, the alternative flours. I have them in stock. I bought them, and I have not started experimenting with them yet. The thing is, what they're missing is the gluten, usually. So if you're not allergic to gluten, and you have the Vital Wheat gluten, then I would use it. I believe it is 1 tablespoon of gluten per cup of flour. Is that right? I believe that's what I heard. So when you would use, you know, other flours, you're definitely going to want to add some wheat gluten to it. I also want to learn how to make gluten-free bread, because, you know, a lot of people that have to go gluten-free, you know, bread, that's a big thing. I would hate to have to give up bread. And that's why I bought those flours. But I have not experimented enough with it. I don't like to do a video until I have perfected it myself, because I don't so much enjoy watching people's fails when they do a video. If I'm looking up how to do something, of course you might learn from that what not to do. But I like to get it just so before I do a video on that. But that's on my list. I am working on those. And I sometimes will make different things, but not make a video out of it, because it's a learning process. I have to learn. But the main thing is you're missing the gluten. So definitely add the gluten for any of those flours besides your bread flour. And even the manual that came with my bread machine tells you, when it's in the troubleshoot section, it'll tell you, you know, if your bread's not rising or it's caving in on top and all of those things, it could be your flour, that you don't have a good high gluten bread flour. So that's real important with the bread machine, because everything is already preset in the times. There's no way to change that. Yes, pizza dough. Pizza dough is on my list. Like I was saying, and I rambled on and on. But so all the pizza dough recipes are out there for making 2 pizzas. What if you just want to make 1? So I am going to perfect a pizza dough recipe that just makes 1. That way it's easy to double a recipe. It is not so easy to have a recipe. Half, H-A-L-F, have a recipe. So but I want to do a whole wheat and I want to do a regular one. So that is definitely something I'm working on doing, but I got to get the right recipe and get it divided right and make sure it turns out right. I made it one day, but it was okay. It wasn't bad, but I just want to practice it a little bit more. And it was supposed to be 2 pizzas, but I like a thick crust, so I just used it all and made one homemade pizza. Jesus loves you, the bread of life. The bread of life loves your bread. Okay. So this is Good Friday. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. We usually color our Easter eggs on Good Friday, but I don't know if I'm going to color any eggs this year. I don't have any children, small children. I don't have any reason to unless I just wanted to set them on the table, and I'm probably not going to color eggs in, today. I could, but have all the stuff, but I don't know that I will. What are you guys? Anybody doing anything interesting for Easter? Anything special? Do anything special today or on Sunday? Yesterday was Monday, Thursday. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Monday, Thursday was the Last Supper. I'm not sure. No, that would be too soon. It wasn't the Last Supper. I don't know. What does Monday, Thursday represent? I can't remember. But that was yesterday. And today's Good Friday. And of course, Sunday is Easter. So I have some baby chicks out in the garage. I have 30, I haven't counted them since I put them out there. I'm pretty sure nothing has happened to any of them. But when I put them out in the garage in their cage, I had 36 baby chicks. That's a lot of baby chicks. Hoping I get a lot of hens out of this. Currently, I only have 6 hens that they're laying really well, but I needed more chickens. So I've hatched out some more, and I've got 36. I know I already have several roosters. I can tell because their cones are bigger and pinker, and that's a good way to tell. Okay, Della says, Saturday, friends are taking us out for 45th anniversary. Congratulations. Happy anniversary. That's wonderful. And Paulette says, getting together with family for Easter Sunday. Our church is having a dinner. So after church, we're having a potluck. So for that, I am making macaroni and cheese. And what else am I making? I forgot. I have to make a couple of other things, but I can't remember what it was I had planned to make. I'd kind of like to make macaroni salad. Then like macaroni and cheese and macaroni salad. But nobody else had that down, so it's probably what I'm going to make. That's good. We don't have family nearby, so I don't have any family to get together with. But it would be nice. It's always nice when you can get together with family. Let's see how long we've been on here. 23 minutes. This will probably be a short live just because my fault. I didn't really prepare and have any really good topics. I wanted to do the live, and then I just kind of forgot that I needed to prepare a topic and have something, to talk about, to fill in the empty spots. But I just kind of forgot to do that. But I thought we could talk about some of these cookbooks. And like I said, I don't know if any of you guys use these older cookbooks or not, but I love them. Della says, I make einkorn whole wheat pasta for salads too. Now, I have never made pasta. Do you have a pasta, I guess the press, the thing that you put the dough in to make the pasta? Because I don't have one. I actually had a friend of mine say they were going to send me a grain meal, so I'll be able to grind some grain. That would be really great. I hear that the bread is so much better for you if you grind your own grain. I've never done it before, but that'll be something I can do in the future. But I've never made my own pasta. I'm like, I see people make it, and I just wonder, can you really tell a difference, Della, when you use your homemade pasta? Does it have a better taste than, you buy the pasta. Gotcha. Okay. I thought you were making it, but you make the salad. Okay, yeah, but I definitely want to try making pasta. I see people do that all the time, and I don't know where I would put mine to dry. That might be a problem because I have um, a cat in the house, and a lot of people lay them on their beds and things, and yeah, I could see that being disastrous. So drying the pasta might be a problem. I guess you could put it in the, if you didn't make a huge batch, you could put it in the oven on pans or in the dehydrator. I wonder, do people do that? I could put it in the dehydrator and do that. Okay. So we're going to go on now for probably maybe 5 more minutes, and then we'll close out. So if you have any questions, let me know what they are. If you have anything you would just love, love, love to see me do a video on, let me know what that might be. And I'll do my best to put that on my list of things to do. I know people, I've got a very long list of things I want to do in the bread machine, different kinds of bread. There are so many different kinds of bread you can make. So I have a very long list of those that I want to do, and I'm trying my best to get one out every week. But it sometimes it gets hard. I need to do better. But I know we love the bread videos. I'm trying to get those out. And then it's garden time is coming up, and I'm trying to get everything put out in the garden. So I have onions and potatoes and some greens planted. Paulette says, I made the fresh pasta years ago, but actually prefer Barilla pasta. Okay. Yeah, I mean, pasta, is not something you season or, when you're making it. And I was just wondering if the fresh pasta, now, if you used freshly ground flour, that might make a difference in how it tasted, and it might be better for you. I understand that when you fresh meal your grains, it actually has a better effect on your blood sugar. It doesn't cause your blood sugar to spike as badly as regular pasta. Now, I don't know that as a fact. That's just what I've heard. So, but as far as taste, it is a lot of work. The people I've seen made it, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of work. When pasta's cheap, I mean, I can buy a pound of pasta for under $1, and I'm like, that it would take me several hours to make a pound of pasta. So, yeah, I mean, I think kudos to those who make them. And then maybe if I had, an abundance of something I needed to use up, I might try making pasta so that I could, if I did make pasta, it would probably be the thicker noodles, like the Amish noodles. I love those. Instead of trying to make spaghetti or linguine or any of those other pastas. But we're people who love bread machines, right? We're looking for ways to get out of work, not ways to increase work. I'm so glad you guys joined me today. It is so good to see you again. I've gotten to where I just look forward to seeing you guys who show up regularly. Della says one of the reasons I get einkorn is it's lower in carbs and it's non-GMO and low gluten. Yes, I hear einkorn is one of those ancient grains. So I hear it's really, really good for you, so much better for you. And I really want to experiment with the other grains because, we eat a lot of bread, and I know that it would be better. And so maybe when I get that grain meal, I can try some new things and use some healthier flours. Those einkorn flours, though, and things, I know they are more expensive. And it is more expensive to eat healthy. That's just the way it is. That's the way it goes. It was great talking with you. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Paulette. I'm so glad you were here. I enjoyed talking to you too. And I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful, blessed Easter. Just do something, what I tell folks, because, we don't have big family nearby or anything like that. So, and some people think, well, I don't have any family, I don't have this, so it's just another day. Make it special. If you just make a special dish, start a tradition. If it's just you, I have a friend, I don't really get to talk to her anymore, but she was single and she made every holiday special. Even if it was just her, she would cook a special meal and she would make it special. Don't just say, well, there's, Nobody wants to do anything special. You can make it special because it really will help you and make you feel better. Cook a special meal, a dish, color some Easter eggs. I don't know. Just get all fixed up and take a selfie. Do something to make yourself feel good and happy because you matter. You're special. God bless you guys. I'm so glad you came today, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.